Hi folks, Aaron Pennerberg here, and I'm with
Miles Emling,
Sarah Potratz,
and Jacob Nelson.
And we're going to just briefly talk about KrumpPow, why we developed it the way we have, and the features of that particular tournament. You know, at the end of the day, KrumpPow is really about participant satisfaction.
And how are we maximizing that participant satisfaction, Aaron?
I'm glad you asked, Miles. The way we're maximizing that is we are doing away with the side judges. This small change, this simple change, really has a dramatic effect on the quality of the experience for the fighters, as well as, I think, in my view, the quality of the exchanges themselves. Why is that the case? That's a long conversation, and this certainly is not an indictment of any particular groups or tournaments' way they do things. It's just the way we're doing it and for the reasons why. At the end of the day, though, these side judges, they don't have the best perspective on what's occurring. The participants themselves do. We are adding one judge per ring, and that judge has a very specific job.
So you're saying if I don't like getting hit and I just argue, oh, I didn't get hit, I didn't feel that, right? Is that, you know, what this will become if we don't have side judges?
Good question. And Jake's question really speaks to the heart of the matter, and that is like the person's honorable nature. Are they an honorable fighter or not? And I use that word kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it makes it a different situation where those participants are responsible for their actions. They're also responsible for acknowledging actions, which is a different component altogether. So essentially what happens is the one judge that's in charge of each ring is kind of the moderator, and they're moderating this conversation that's occurring between these two participants. I have this saying, and I use it all the time, we're not trying to polish turds, okay? What we want are the best quality exchanges. So we have a function in KrumpPow where the participants can throw out sloppy fencing. Now that doesn't mean they can throw out everything. They can't throw out doubles. A true double is a negative in fencing. And we have 3 opportunities for those doubles. So the judge calls the true doubles, and if you get 3 of them in that particular match, then the match is over, and the current score sits.
So, we've talked about quality of fencing. How are we addressing quantity of fencing?
Great question, Sarah. Quantity of fencing. So, I've been to some tournaments before, and again, it's not an indictment, but it's a whole lot of travel, it's a whole lot of money, frankly, time away from your family, time away from the job, and at the end of the day, you know, you get 3 or 4 fights, maybe 6 if you're having a good day. And that's, you know, that return of investment is very hard to justify in some cases. So what we're doing is we're having no eliminations. And what happens is your score is cumulative throughout the entire tournament. So at the end of the day, those top scoring people, they go on to the finals. The other folks don't. But you don't get eliminated from those particular pools. It just continues. Any other questions? Good questions, you guys. I hope you join us for KrumpPow. I do think the type of fighting, the quality of fighting, the quality overall of the experience is superior from what I've experienced before in other HEMA tournaments. Hope to see you there. Thanks. So what we're going to talk about real quick is proper defense and some of the problems we see with some of these HEMA tournament mindsets. Here's 2 examples of some fighting, some actions that occur. Example 1, recover. So what happened here is Miles attacks Sarah. He sees the vor, he struck first, and he struck an Überhau, so he's coming over the top of Sarah. Sarah has the decision to make. She can seize the knock, act after, and defend herself, try to work indes at about the same time with some kind of master cut, right? Or she can try and void and get out of the way. Let's watch that example again. Number 1, reset. So there we go. Sarah acted appropriately. We see it in the manuscripts. What did she do? She did a master cut. She displaced that incoming Überhau because Miles took the vor. Here's what we see sometimes, though, in some tournament fighting. Example 2. Reset. And cut again. And relax. Okay, so what's happening now? Miles sees the vor, okay? He's striking to Sarah first. Sarah sees that there's an opening. and she takes the opening. So in other words, as Miles moves, she disregards her own defense, ignores the incoming attack, and instead focuses on just scoring a point and seeking an opening. This is not good fencing. This is not something we see represented in any of our historical material, and for good reason, because they all would have been dead had they focused on that as the art. Instead, example 1 is the only appropriate response. Let's talk about doubles. Doubles do sometimes occur. They look like this. Here's a double. Okay? One more time. Relax. What's really happening there is that the fighters are not relying on their ability to perceive movement. What they're doing instead is they're just simply deciding on a strike and then striking. There's a missing piece there though, and that missing piece is that you're always needing to be aware of what your opponent's comportment is. Therefore, I'm always on the watch for somebody who's going to strike at me, because it's inevitable. They're going to seize the vor sometimes, and I've got to act indes or knock. Okay? And a lot of times when people double, it's a failure to remain aware of their environment. Instead, all they're doing is striking and hoping for the best. That's also not good fencing. What needs to happen is there needs to be judgment, patience, and reason, awareness, and an ability to read comportment and movement. So you can't always just simply strike. If you do that, you are open. Every time you cut, you create an opening. So you need to be aware of that idea. You need to be mature about the fact that as I'm fighting with somebody, I cannot just do whatever it is I want. That's a different idea than having a tactic in mind and then executing that tactic. It's the idea of reading your opponent and being aware of what's happening in your surroundings. Okay, so here's a sample exchange and how it kind of works at KrumpPow. All right, I'm the judge. Here's our fighters. Fighter ready? Fighter ready? Fight. Halt. Okay, we're gonna have a discussion. What happened?
I feel like I got you in the head after I vaulted around you.
Yeah, I would agree there. I kind of had my guard up, but you cut through it. I think that was pretty solid.
Okay, call the points.
5 points.
Yep, I agree. 5 points.
5 points awarded to this fighter. Reset. And that's how we run it. An example of a called double. Fighter ready? Fighter ready? Fight. Halt. Double. You struck him on the arm, you struck him on the arm at about the same time. First double. Reset. Okay, the following are the rules for the longsword tournament. The head is worth 5 points. So Jake strikes or thrusts the head, that's 5 points. The chest and torso area are 3 points. So that's either a cut, slice, or thrust, 3 points. The arms, hands, and legs, 1 point. We're trying to incentivize strikes to the head and torso, although still acknowledging the arms, hands, and legs need to be protected. Okay, the rules for mixed steel are essentially the same as for longsword. There is no difference. So again, just to repeat, any cuts to the head, any thrusts to the head are worth 5 points. Any thrusts to the body or cuts to the body are worth 3 points. Any cuts to the arms or legs are worth 1 point. Okay, the rules for scoring for single stick are as follows. 5 points to the head, that's 5 points. To the body or torso is 3 points. To the arm, good, or leg is a point. And it can be either arm or leg scoring the point, not only the lead leg. Okay, so again, head 5, body 3, arms, legs, 1 point. Okay, the following are the rules for the rapier. They're a little bit experimental this year. Last year, the matches took far too long. So the points have been reduced to 8 points. Okay, 8 points. Now, Thrusts from a rapier to the head and to the torso are 5 points. So thrust, head, torso only, 5 points. Slices to the head, slices to the body are worth 2 points. And any slices to the arms or legs are worth 1 point. And again, we're going to 8. So if he thrusts the arm, a point. If he slices the body, 2 points. Slices the face, 2 points. Thrusts the head, 5 points. Thrusts the torso, 5 points. Okay, we'll talk about safety gear for the HEMA tournaments for KrumpPow. Essentially, Jake is kind of modeling our required gear for steel, for longsword, for mixed steel, and for mixed synthetic. What we have is essentially a standard 3 weapon mask. It's in relatively good condition, and a back of the head protector. He's also got a acceptable HEMA jacket and Gorget commercially made gloves. Okay, if you have homemade gloves, they have to be pre-approved. And I've received several emails. That's the way to do it. Email me and we'll talk about it. Cup for men, chest protector for women. He's also got the knees, shins, and elbows protected. Red Dragons are no, I think
Not okay.
Not in steel.
Contact Sam Street for sure, but I don't think they're okay for steel. So Red Dragons, not okay for steel. Sarah's modeling the lighter kind of coat. This is acceptable for longsword, provided you have a hard chest protector underneath it, both for women and for men. But that is acceptable. She's also modeling it for what's single stick requirements, which is just some kind of jacket, sweatshirt's acceptable with elbow protectors, light gloves, they don't have to be padded or protected, and just a regular helmet with back of the head protector. That's required. That's about it, I think. Any questions? Rapier is the lighter coat, is acceptable. Has to have a chest protector and gorget. You don't need to protect the elbows if you don't want to, or knees for rapier. Anything else? Thank you.